What comes to mind when you hear the word giants? Perhaps tales of Yeti roaming the Himalayas, towering Slavic warriors, or the Maasai of Africa. Maybe even the fictional Hagrid from Harry Potter. But what if I told you that centuries ago, European colonizers wrote about encountering giants not in some far-off mythical land, but right here in Sri Lanka? Yes, you heard that right. Two small islands off the northern tip of Sri Lanka were home to people so tall that the Portuguese and Dutch chroniclers referred to them as giants. Intrigued? Let's unravel this fascinating mystery together. Let's set the scene. Pungurudivu and Analaithivu. These two tranquil islands west of the Jaffna Peninsula are now known for their pristine beaches, centuries-old temples and churches, and old-world charm. But there is far more to these islands than meets the eye. History tells us that these islands were once home to unusually tall men and women, and one extraordinary woman who became a legend herself. It was Portuguese captain and chronicler João Ribeiro, who spent nearly 18 years in Ceylon, who first documented these giants. In his account, Ribeiro refers to Pungurudivu, known as Puangadivaina in Sinhala, mistakenly as Pungardiva. According to Ribeiro, the men living here were of gigantic size, towering over the average height of people in the region. He also mentions the island's abundance of deer, buffaloes, and peafowl, and how life there seemed idyllic, except for one startling detail. Now let's move on to the neighboring island, Analaithivu, or as the Portuguese called it, Dona Clara. This island was named after a woman described as a true marvel, a giantess of prodigious size. Her fame spread far and wide, and her chair, yes, her chair, became a tourist curiosity during the Portuguese and Dutch colonial periods. The chair was so enormous that two average-sized men could sit on it comfortably. Can you imagine the sheer scale of her presence? These accounts didn't just stop with the Portuguese. Dutch missionary and traveller Philippus Baldaeus, who sojourned in Ceylon during the Dutch colonial era, also confirms these fascinating details. He describes the men of Pungurudivu, renamed Middelburg during the Dutch colonial era, as being much taller than the rest of the Indian subcontinent. He too mentions Dona Clara of Analaithivu, marveling at her enormous size and her infamous chair. Baldaeus also notes the island's abundance of oysters, which might have been part of the unique diets that contributed to their stature. But here's where the mystery deepens. By the time the British took over, these accounts of giants seemed to vanish. There are no British era records mentioning unusually tall men or women from these islands. So what happened? Did these so-called giants go extinct? Was their tall gene diluted through intermarriage with settlers from the mainland? Or did rampant epidemics during the colonial period, as highlighted by historians, decimate the population? Let's not forget, slavery was rampant in Ceylon during the colonial era, lasting until 1844. And Jaffna was a major slave trading hub where colonial rulers shipped enslaved people as far as Cape Colony and the Dutch East Indies, modern-day Indonesia. So here's a chilling thought. Could these towering islanders have been captured and sold into slavery, taken from their homeland? It's a real possibility. Could their lineage have vanished across foreign lands, erased by the brutality of the colonial slave trade? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Today, the people of Pungurudivu and Analaithivu seem to reflect the average height of Sri Lankans, yet the stories of their ancestors remain alive in historical texts and oral traditions. Now here's a question for you. Have you met anyone from these islands who stands out in height? Or do you think these stories were simply exaggerated by colonial chroniclers fascinated by the exotic East? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The mystery of Sri Lanka's giants is just one of the many fascinating stories hidden in our history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I cover everything from ancient myths and political intrigue to film stars and cultural icons. If there is a story you would like me to uncover, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, this is me, Zamir Karim, signing off. Let's keep exploring history, one story at a time.